Hey, 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 welcome everyone to the Ecamm, what is it? Video graphics workshop, this weekly class, right? Let me jump in and make sure that people are coming in. Let's see here, make sure everything is going good. Let me know where you're coming in from. This is the early call as usual, where we kind of just jump in and make sure all the tech is good. And just to say hi to everyone, see where you're coming in from. Let's see who we have here. Oh, let me go to chats. All right. Yeah, so let me know that you guys are here. I am logging in now to make sure everything is all well, as usual. And because we're live, this is not how I typically do my show, right, with all the extra up front. How's it going, Leo? Good to see you. First one here today. How's it going? Let's change those graphics out, make them plain today. There we go. All right, y'all. So we have Leo here from Vienna. All right. So I guess you're coming in from the Ecamm YouTube channel. And then I have those that are coming in from my YouTube channel. So welcome, welcome, welcome. So today is just like every other week, every other Tuesday at 2 p.m. We are going to do video graphics, right? So if you have anything about video graphics that you're working on, anything that you've been having issues with, let me know, and we're going to work through some of those. Appreciate that, Leo. Yeah, thanks for coming. I really like seeing you guys here and just kind of helping you out where I can and giving you tips and tools to help you create your graphics. So that's what I'm here for. Again, this is the pre-workshop segment that we always have, just to say hi before we really get into it and get things going. How you doing, Cortland? Good to see you. Yeah, so we're just kind of making it do what it do right now. We got about 3 minutes before we start, giving everybody a chance to get in and do some things. Let me see. I had this little thing I was working on. Let me see what this thing actually works. This is a stinger overlay I was working on. Maybe I'll show you guys how to do that today. Yeah, that came out pretty cool. Okay. Yeah, I was testing that before we got started, just as a quick graphic to kind of mess with and see if you guys want to learn something like that today. Some people call that a stinger graphic. Now in Ecamm, and I'll get into this a little bit when we start the workshop, Ecamm doesn't do what I consider full transitions. They kind of do half transitions, and I'll describe that a little bit. But if you have kind of a mid-roll kind of thing that you do, like that call to action that I showed you all how to create a little while ago, this is kind of a different version of that. It can kind of be a call to action or a stinger or just a pause in the video where it doesn't actually switch to another scene, but it just kind of refreshes the page a little bit, right? So maybe I'll show you guys how to do that today too. Yeah, well, live scoreboard graphics, and I'll answer this in the bigger class too, because they might have that question, a bigger workshop. But just to answer this real quick, live graphic options, whereas graphics that are driven by data, right? There's a company called Singular Live that has lower thirds and other kind of graphics that can be driven by data. That might be the best route to go. You probably even could do it in a widget, maybe, not sure. If you could pull in that data into a web widget, and then as you change it on the text file on the website, it'll pull it in. So those are different ways to do it. There's not a way that Ecamm recommends that I know of, right? There's not a particular product that they endorse for doing that, but I know there's probably some ways to do that. Singular is an option, and I've only dabbled in it right now. I'm about to dig a little bit deeper into Singular. I always try to announce new stuff that I want to start playing with. But Singular is one of those things. But a web widget might do that also, right? So those are some options. Now, you can also just make the scoreboard graphic, right, in Keynote or wherever else, and then do the numbers manually, right? So it might be a little hard for basketball, but if it's a football game, soccer, things like that, right? You just do a text overlay, click the text, change it, then re-upload, right? So that's a way to do that. All right, y'all. So it is 2 o'clock right now, Central, my time. So we're officially starting the Ecamm graphics workshop, video graphics workshop. And Henry, since you asked this question, what I'm going to do is show you a couple of options that may work for you, or a option that may work for you. As far as the scoreboard thing, where you can change a scoreboard dynamically, but it's going to be a manual function, right? So because this is the workshop, let's just jump right into it real quick. I'm going to take you into Keynote. So let's go into Keynote here. And that's something else I was working on. Maybe I'll show you guys that later. So go to New. And let's just make kind of a scoreboard, graphic type of thing, right? And I'm kind of spitballing here because I'm trying to figure out what a scoreboard might look like, right? So we have maybe a top box. We're going to do a simple one. I'm just going to do a simple one for now. So that's halfway. So that's the blue team. And that's the red team, right? So we have the home and away team. We can have, scores or whatever else, right? So now let's make the background for this whole slide no fill. And let's make that a color just to do it. Right. And we're going to have the scoreboard kind of in that upper right-hand corner. No, typically when it's a game, it might be out of the way, right? So let's do it here. So this is our rough scoreboard, right? And, I just thought about that. Okay, let's do it this way. So that'll be the names of the teams. So team 1, team 2, score. All right, so we're going to do a file export and images, PNG for transparency. And I'm going to save this in my desktop, live resources. I'm going to call it score. All right, so now let's go back to our main screen here. And let me go find what I had. My graphic called score. Okay, so here's the scoreboard here, right? So now we're in Ecamm, and what I want to do is add text overlays. And in your overlays window, when you want to open up that overlays window, and it's the icon that has the T. That's for text, right? So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to say team 1. No background. So we have team 1, and I can scale it down, right? Because this is still kind of rough housing, right? And make another one for team 2. All right, so team 1, team 2. And now what you want to do for scores, I designed this a lot nicer than I am now, but it's just kind of a quick and dirty thing, right? So part of what you also want to do is lock the scoreboard. So you want to click the padlock on that in your overlays palette. But now I'm going to add, you can even put a clock on it, right? But we're just going to do text overlays for now. So I'm going to add another text overlay, and this will be the score. So say it's a football game, so 14. All right, so there's the score. And let's say team number 1 just scored, and they're doing their celebration dance or whatever. All I have to do now is go into Ecamm while they're showing it. It can be live, right? And I hit save, the score changes, right? And I can do all that manually. I can add a clock to it for each quarter of the game, right? And I can start and stop that clock. So even if I go here now and add another, now I'm going to add a countdown overlay, right? And that's the 3:21 in your overlay list. So I'm going to add that, duration 10 minutes, countdown backwards, right? So there's another timer, right? So you're watching the game, the time is running. They pause their time, you pause your time. They start their clock, you start your clock back up, right? And these are all functions inside of Ecamm, right? This is a countdown timer overlay. You add that, you can edit it as you need it. all the other text in this little box right now are text overlays. So, they scored again, right? Or they scored an extra point. So now it's 24. I put in 24, hit save, and the score changes, right? Now, this may be a little more difficult if it was a basketball game, like I said, because you're still, it's continuously scoring back and forth and all that kind of stuff. But if it's like a football game, a soccer game, now it could be basketball, because if you have someone only worried about the score, then someone else doing the filming, this is an easy two-person job. It can be done with a one-person job too, especially if you're doing different kind of commentating at a live event. So that is definitely an option, right? So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if that helped you out any, Henry. Hey, how's it going, Rob? So if anybody has any questions, please let me know. Please chime in with your questions. You can start off with the word question or a Q and just drop it into the chat, and we'll make it roll like that. All right, y'all, let me turn all these things off because we don't need them. And let me actually delete those so they'll be out of the way. All right. So hopefully that was helpful, Henry, about doing a scoreboard. And, you can design as nice a scoreboard as you want as a static graphic, and then, come back in and put all the text features in it as text overlays in Ecamm. So it can definitely be done. Cool. Thank you for joining us, Christine, from the airport. All right. Yeah, but if you guys have any graphics questions, let me know. And you know what? Since we're here right now, let me jump into a new web browser and just type in. Yeah, I changed the score in real time by using text overlays. Let me do this real quick. Let me go to, I'm going to go into options, live demo mode. And let me take this off the screen so it's cleaner. Okay, so here we are in live demo mode in Ecamm, right? So what I'm gonna do now is show you how I did those live changes. So over here, you see my overlay box. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Can't make the text bigger, but this is the overlay box, right? And I don't have that graphic on anymore, but say I want to add names of the teams, it's just a text overlay. So I click text, I type in team, double click it. All right. Type in team, and that's the team, right? Now that team has a score. So I'm going to put in another text overlay, which is the T. And I'll just type in any number. Say it's 0-0 to start off the game. Right? So this team has 0 points. Okay, so the game is going on and the team scores a touchdown. All I have to do now is click on the pencil or double click the text itself, right? So I double click the text and I type in 07. Hit save. And the score changes. Now, the delay of me typing and all that stuff, the people watching the video doesn't see all that delay. They just see it go, they just see the numbers go from 0 to 07, right? So they score again. I click that. I type in 14. I hit save, and it goes from 7 to 14, right? And that's how you can dynamically, but manually change scores in games, right? And I also mentioned a few seconds ago having a clock in the game, right? So that's the 3, 2, 1 option in your overlays palette. That is a countdown timer option. And you can count down to different amounts of things, count up, whatever else, right? So I have a 10-minute timer. I'm gonna click add on that. Let me grow it a little bit. So you have a couple of ways to do this, right? You can just have a camera on the scoreboard or on the clock and use that one as a camera overlay. You can do that. Or if you have your clock running with their clock, they stop the clock, you hit pause. They start the clock, you hit play. Now, you probably rarely be exactly like them if you're doing it manually, but it's something for the people at home to kind of keep up with the rough time of the game, right? They pause, you pause. They click timeout, you click timeout, right? They go back to gameplay, you hit the play button. And it's as simple as that. Score changes again. I hit the pencil tool, I type in 21, I hit save, and the score dynamically changed. So that's it. Yeah, you can do it as a scroll. I mean, so all these different things are definitely options. Let me go back out of here so you guys can see full screen now. All right, so we're back here. All right, so let me turn these off. Cool, cool, cool. So hopefully that was helpful. Let me know if that helped you or not, Lloyd. And let's see, Christine has a question. How can I make an animated background overlay with windows for either guest or second camera? Okay, let me do a little quick correction to what you're saying here. A background and an overlay are two different things. A background is in the back, right? Behind everything. An overlay sits on top of, right? So if you want a literal background animation, that's easy. You could put any kind of video, any kind of whatever you want as a background and use camera overlays on top of it, right? But if you want a animated overlay, yes, you can make that in Keynote, and I can make a quick one. Just kind of, I don't know about gradient shapes moving around, but we can do gradient colors in Keynote anyway. The downside of Keynote is you cannot cut a hole in a movie, right? So if you brought in an MOV file into Keynote, I can't cut holes in it for an overlay for someone. Now I can do an animation, but it maybe won't move as much as you would like it to, but I can definitely show you something really quick in Keynote that could be a overlay. Right, so let's go to Keynote real quick. So let's say here, we're going to do a basic overlay. So my background here is already no fill for the slide. And let me make this go out a little bit. I'm going to do my old generic color shifting thing. So we have blue here, and let's make the overlay shape in it. Now this is a quickie, right? This is not a exacting kind of thing right now. It's just kind of a nice curved edges. Let's make it green so we know we cut the hole in it. Make that bigger. All right, so here's our overlay, real basic overlay. So two shapes, format, shapes and lines, subtract shapes. So now we have an overlay. So now what I would do is go to object list, and I'd make 3 more copies of this, right? I can make one red and make the other one green, right? So we have a blue one, a red one, and a green one. So first, the green one, no need to worry about the green one. For the red one, we're going to go to animate, add an effect, wipe. And we can preview it, but you won't be able to see it because it's behind the blue one. So just kind of hang with me. So we're going to do a wipe from the left. That's fine. Then we're going to do the blue one, wipe, and we'll do it from the right. Because it was on top, you can see it now. Right? So now let's do the build order and preview all this. Right? So you can do that animation easily in Keynote, right? So if I export this into Ecamm, this would be an animated overlay. The colors would just kind of wipe back and forth. Now, if I had little shapes inside of here, which I can do, no big deal, and so you can have all those things kind of change, right? So the more stuff you add to each layer that has the hole cut out of it, the different things that will move, right? So it's all kinds of different ways that you can do that, but that's just kind of one way to do it. All right, so let's go back to questions. Hopefully that was helpful. I forgot who asked that. Christine, hopefully that was helpful. And I can do kind of a more advanced one, drawn out a little bit more if you would like to. All right, so let's see what Chamberlain says. I like to know how to import an overlay that I've exported as a, okay. Okay, I'll answer that question. Overlays, native overlays in Keynote that are MOV files cannot have sound. That's why you're having the issue. When you bring it in, it probably even asks you, you want this to be an overlay or do you want this to be a video? And if you pick overlay, the sound is gone, right? You pick video, the transparency is gone. It can't be both. Now, if you can now use the WebM, that's an option now. If it's in beta, if you download the beta version of it, which will soon mean it'll be in the real version, in the final version. If you download the beta version of Ecamm, you can use WebM files and export as those. And I believe WebM files will let you keep the sound. But Apple ProRes 4444 cannot have sound and be a transparency. So that's the issue you're having with that. You're exporting it properly, and the export probably has the audio in it, right? Because it's a movie file, and that's all it knows it as is a movie file. But when you bring that into Ecamm, overlays cannot have sound natively. Now, if you strip both of them out, you can play the overlay and a sound effect at the same time with that scene, right? But you cannot have sound on the overlay with Apple ProRes 4444. You can with WebM files. Cool. So hopefully that helped you, Christine, and Chamberlain. Hope that helped you also. Let's see what you have here, Rob. How can I get a transparent window in an overlay the right size for a stretched additional overlay? How can I get a transparent window in an overlay? Here's the deal. You cannot skew images in Ecamm. And people have been asking for that feature, and I personally don't want that feature, especially if people are uploading graphics and then you can skew it and it'd be disproportional, right? You can only scale a graphic proportionally. So if it's a 6:9 opening in your graphic, as you scale it, that opening is still going to remain a 16:9 ratio, right? So if it's square, it's going to remain square. If it's circle, it's going to remain a perfect circle, right? So you can't skew overlays. So that's what you're running into, because I think that's what you're saying. So the best route I think you can probably do is to put your elements on screen, do a screen capture of it, bring the screen capture into Keynote, then make your overlay fit that, that skewed odd shape, right? Then save that graphic and bring it in. Then the cutout will be the right size, right? So place your elements in Ecamm first with that odd sized shape, then redraw it in Keynote later. Hope you see what I'm saying. Yes, you can loop. And usually what I would do, and I can kind of go here real quick. So as you saw in the preview, it starts off green, red comes in, then blue comes in. What I would then do, because you want it to be a seamless loop, and I'll just finish making it real quick, right? So we have the green one already there. Then the red one comes in, duration 1.575 seconds. Then the blue one comes in, 1.75. Okay, so now what I want to do, I'm going to bring over my build order palette. So here's the build order, right? And I'll name these so they know what they are. So R, B, okay? So R comes in first, and we're going to have it come in after it starts, let's say 3 seconds, right? Then we're going to have B come in after build 1, 3 seconds, right? But now you want it to have a seamless loop. So what you have to do now is make the red one disappear and then make the blue one blend out to see the green again, right? So red wiped in, blue wipes in. Now we need to have red disappear. So we go to red, we can just click it in the list here, go to build out, add an effect, disappear, right? And then we're going to click on the blue one. We're going to go to build out, add an effect, wipe, right? So red builds in, blue builds in, red disappears after blue builds in, then blue wipes itself out after build number 3. We're going to go 2 seconds now because there's some kind of delay, right? So here we go. Let's go to preview this. So it starts green. Red comes in. After 3 seconds, blue will come in. Red disappears. Then blue goes away, right? And now when you upload this, and we'll upload it so I can show you how it works. Put a little bit more delay on that. Nope. Let's go 2.6. So it looks a little bit more even. Let's go to File, Export to Movie. Move that out of the way. Self-playing movie, 0 on the delays. And you can do HEVC. I meant to tell you guys that. You don't have to do Apple ProRes 4444 exclusively anymore for Ecamm. You can use the HEVC format and the WebM format. So we're going to do the HEVC format for this one just to show you what it looks like. Go next. And I'm going to put it in my live resources. Call it rotate, export. And it takes a little bit longer to squeeze it now because it's a smaller file. So the work of squeezing will take a little bit longer. Now, this is the part that you rarely see because in my tutorial videos, I cut all the squeezing portion of it out. But as this is squeezing, let me see what else you guys have to say real quick. Yeah, to export the file from Final Cut, I don't know if Final Cut can export as a WebM file. If it can, you can use that and maybe keep the sound. So I don't know. Okay, so Rob is saying he doesn't want to skew the box, but yeah, but it's going to be proportional, right? So if you want an odd size box, you got to make an odd size cutout that it's going to fit in. So that's and using that, I call it the secret weapon graphic, right? That's my infamous secret weapon graphic. When I do a screen capture of my video window and design on top of that, that always helps me out, right? So let me go back to my main screen here. And go to my live resources, and we're going to add the rotate. And I'm going to set it to rotate to loop so you can see what happens, right? So this is that overlay that you were talking about, Christine. And you'll see the blue come out. The red disappeared in the background. And see, now we're back at it, right? And it's a seamless loop. You don't have all the issues with it being jarring, right? It just basically waves back and forth. Then the blue waves. And see, even in this kind of format, it even looks like the green actually swiped in, but it didn't, right? And so that's what you would do. You just kind of put that, you make the overlay, but make sure you make it so it always ends at the beginning. So if you loop it, it looks seamless, right? There's no jarring at the end of it. I've seen some animations people have been doing where you get to the end of the animation, then it snaps back to the beginning. This prevents that, right? You want to think about the loop of doing it. Cool. All right, Christine. You'll see this when you get to where you're going. Have a safe trip. Talk to you soon. All right. All right, y'all. All right. Let me know what else you guys may have. Let me turn this thing off because that will start getting on my nerves in a second. All right. Let me know if you guys have any more questions. Let's see. Let me scroll backwards, see if I see anything. Yeah, but like I was saying, Rob, I mean, I just basically go into, so even right now, right? I can do it right here. I'm gonna do the Apple Shift 4, and I get the crosshairs for that one, right? And I'm going to screen capture my window, which I just did. And I'm going to go to my, where it automatically saves it for me, drag that into Keynote, open Keynote, delete those things, right? So this is a screen capture of the screen of my interface that I'm working with right now to do this graphics workshop, right? And that's a little bit too big. Let's scale it to make it fit proportionally. All right. So there we are. So that's what I would call my secret weapon graphic, right? So if I have some kind of odd shaped thing like this box back here, right? I'll do my shape and I'll draw my box over that shape. And if I go to my format and change the opacity, right, I know that's where that thing is going to fit, right? If I want to do a special shape over here, I go to shape, pick a circle. Right. So I can do those things and build out all my stuff, right, on top of my design. And then when I get done, make these a color so I can see them. Right. I do all my stuff. I get done. I'll delete my secret weapon image. So now I've finished my overlay. Let's go back here. So now I build my overlay, right? Do my rectangle, put it in the back. Select those, format, shapes and lines, subtract shapes. So now when I export this and bring it into Keynote, to Ecamm, I know this will fit over whatever I had there, and this will be a nice overlay around it. I know whatever I had in this area will show through that box for my overlay, right? And then I bring this in as a PNG or whatever I'm doing, and I put it on top, and my other video windows fit behind those openings properly, right? So that's how I would do that. Hey, Inga, how's it going? We are just pretty much freelancing here, so let me know if you have any questions. Let me show you guys. Let me see if I still have that open. This is my, what I call a little stinger graphic, right? And let me actually play it for you in Ecamm. Uh-oh, thought I had it. Guess I don't have it. Let's see. Stinger. So this is my little stinger graphic that I would use to, where are we at? Where'd you go? Okay, this is my little stinger graphic that I would use, just kind of have a change of pace within the video, right? So I'm talking, little stinger graphic plays, and we just kind of keep going, right? So it's kind of a pause in the action or call to action, right? Because I actually have a call to action graphic that I did, which is this one. So that's a call to action graphic that runs during the video. I don't even call attention to it, just let it play, right? So those are different things you can do where you're not switching scenes, but they're kind of a little miniature call to action, right? So there's definitely little ways and things you can play with those. So here's the stinger again. It just wipes in, your logo could pop in and pop out, then it would leave, right? So those are just kind of options for those different things. Let me turn that stinger off. Don't need that one. So those are definitely little different things you can do with Keynote to kind of play with. All right, y'all. So any more questions? I am here to rock and roll with y'all. So let's see. Just kind of let me know what you guys are playing with right now, what you're doing. I was scrolling through to see if there's any more questions. Yeah, I don't know if Final Cut Pro actually exports WebM, so I can't speak to that, honestly. Good seeing you, man. Have a good day. Drost video. Are you asking about the stingers, the little transition animations? Yeah, I have those come in automatically. You can do them in, let me see, I have the stinger and the mid roll. So let me do this real quick. We're going to go back into, let's go back into Ecamm, which we are. Let me move this. And let's go back into live demo mode. Okay, so here we are in live demo mode. So this is live demo mode, right? And here's my mid-roll animation. So eyeballing it on automatically makes it play, right? Also the stinger. Eyeballing makes it play. Now you can set up in your preferences to not have animations automatically play on switching a scene. That is a preference in Ecamm. If you're going to have multiple things like that, I would suggest that you have that option checked, because as you see right now, I have them eyeballed off, right? So let me eyeball, it's going to eyeball on everything. Okay, so everything is eyeballed on. Everything has already played through. Nothing is set to rotate, right? Everything's just playing right now. If I click off of this scene, then I go back to that scene, all that stuff is playing at the same time, right? It just so happens that the big animation is on top. So you want to make sure in your preferences that you have do not autoplay animations on scene switching. You can, but beforehand you need to make sure that all the eyeballs are turned off, right? So now whenever I want to play that stinger, I just click the eyeball and automatically plays, right? Then it's done because it doesn't auto rotate. If I want to play it again, I just click that pause play icon, it plays again, right? But as long as that eyeball is on and I click off and click back on, it's going to auto play. So the first time you play it will probably be, you can hit the play button to turn the eyeball on, or hit the eyeball on, it'll play it. Then to play it again, you click the eyeball again. So I usually do all my overlays like that as manual. Something cool that you can do though, because I only usually have two screens up, either the screen you see now or my Keynote screen. So something I've been toying with to play with, right? So if I made a folder, since we're kind of all behind the scenes right now, say I make a folder with this main scene in it, right? Which to you, okay. So to you, it looks like it's the same scene over and over, right? But what I could do is have the same scene in a folder copied, right? And with that in mind, let me show you something. Let me go to, I wonder if I can drag that stinger over there. Okay, so here is a scene, right? Now that plays that stinger. I'm trying to not be complicated. I'm trying to simplify while I'm thinking through it. Okay, so this would be my second scene in this lineup. So let me grab it, put it as a second scene. So scene with nothing on it, scene with stinger on it, right? As you see here. So what I would do is now put a timer on the first scene. So I'll go to this scene, add a countdown timer, and let's make that countdown timer 20 seconds, 0 minutes. And color is 0 opacity. right? So now that timer is on here and it's counting down, right? And let me go to it real quick. Because what I want to do is go to next scene when finished. So after 20 seconds, it's going to go to the next scene. And the next scene looks just like the first scene, but it has the stinger in it, right? So I'm sitting here, I'm doing my presentation, teaching whatever it is I'm teaching, kind of hanging out with y'all, doing my thing. Everything is going smooth. We really like it. I'm not sure when 20 seconds is going to pass by, but whenever 20 seconds passes by, right, here we go. That stinger played. So it was basically the same scene twice, same camera angle twice, right? But with an invisible timer that then switches the scene that has that stinger in it. So that's kind of a cool way to do it, especially if you're on screen by yourself. Those things are kind of automatically play, right? Now, the cool thing about it is I would put that stinger on both of these scenes, right? And then they would just rotate between each other inside that folder. So every 5 or 10 minutes, that stinger would play like a little mini commercial, and it would just rotate inside the folder because the next scene is only the next scene as it's related to a folder group, right? So didn't mean to overcomplicate all that, but that's kind of what it is. All right. So that's what it is, y'all. All right, let me see. And let's turn that stinger off because we don't need it. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. Hopefully that wasn't too much of a tangent to be messing around with that. All right. So hopefully that helps, Drost video. Yeah, I mean, I it's kind of like one of those dabble and play with kind of things, right? You want to get in and kind of mess with the stuff and just play with it, right? You can do all these things without recording or with recording just to test it, or just kind of have Ecamm open and play with these things, right? That's just the best way to learn is kind of just play through it. Glad that was helpful. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. So there's no questions. I don't want to keep y'all past what's a good time for y'all. So if there's no questions, I will roll out. But I am good for the hour. So let me know what y'all need. So if there's anything that you're kind of working through right now, you're trying to figure out anything that you had as a graphic that kind of broke on you, you're trying to make work better, anything you're considering making that you wouldn't mind trying to explore that with Keynote, I am here. So let me know, y'all. Let's try this new feature, see how that works. So I think if I get any new messages, they'll show up actually on the screen next to me, which should be cool. And let me know if y'all can see that when it happens. So whatever the next comment is should show up in this stream on the side. So we will see. So somebody make a comment. Let's see if it pops up on the screen. All right. There we go. How do you make yourself appear beside the presentation like you see in StreamYard? Okay. In Ecamm, because that's what I'm using, right? So in Ecamm, I would do, well, do you mean this, or do you mean you want to show up literally next to it? Because all you have to do then, you can bring in the screen share overlay, resize it, and then just do another camera overlay next to it. So you can kind of create that layout to make yourself next to a screen share. But there's no native, oh, let me show the screen and myself kind of thing, because in Ecamm, there's a picture-in-picture option, right? So if I went, let me make a new scene. So this is a new Ecamm scene. So I'm going to go picture-in-picture. So that's dual mode. So that's picture in picture. So I'm not next to it, but this is kind of the default setting for Ecamm picture in picture, right? I do my own kind of custom picture in picture with this layout with myself inside of a little circle. But if I wanted myself next to my shared window, I could also do that, but I would have to do it kind of like with camera overlays. So I would turn that off and go here. Wouldn't zoom the app window, right? So like this, right? So I would move my shared window to the position I want it, right? And then move my other camera overlay to the position that I want it and kind of build the look, right? So this is kind of like that StreamYard look right now, right? The window on one side and me on the other side. So those things can be done. There's just no native side by side, big window, small window kind of thing like you see in StreamYard. Yeah, so you can do it side by side. The screen share does not have to be a camera overlay. It can literally be a screen share if you have a second screen, right? And then you can share particular windows in Ecamm, then just add a camera overlay with it. What's up, Owen? Good to see you, man. How's it going with you? Testing out this new chat overlay feature of Restream because that's what I use to multi-stream. So using it in conjunction with Ecamm. Ecamm is the native app, and I'm using it as a virtual cam into Restream to then put on two different YouTube channels. So that's why you kind of see the dual kind of stuff going on. Some Restream stuff, some Ecamm stuff. Cool, cool. Yeah, but that's a pretty good kind of look for that. I guess that's legible for y'all. It's a little small on my screen. That's a cool little feature. I'm gonna turn that off for now and go back full screen. All right. All right, y'all. Any more questions? Anything you're working on? What have you been working on, Owen? Are you still doing? Let me see right here. Just getting. There you go. Infinity Design. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that. I haven't used it much. I'm usually Photoshop, Illustrator, Keynote, Canva, a little Final Cut Pro, little After Effects. Haven't used Affinity yet because I'm usually with the Adobe staples, but I do most of my tutorials in Keynote and now Canva. And a few others have reached out to me, so I may be playing with those. Let me answer this text real quick. All right. Cool, man. No, I have not showed any widgets. We can do that real quick. Fun way to learn. Hello from the UK. Yeah, now widgets, let's do this real quick. Because none of you all are on my YouTube channel. I'm guessing you're on Ecamm's YouTube channel and not mine. If you're on my YouTube channel and you follow me or something like that, I do have widgets that will play. But since we're probably on Ecamm's channel, they're not going to play through. But let me show you this real quick. We can go to, let me open up the Stream Labs window first before I let you guys into it. All right. I'm logging in real quick, just making sure I don't log in and show y'all all my credentials. Y'all probably hear some vacuuming in the background, so I hope that won't bother y'all. All right, so now let's go to my Streamlabs window. And this is the widget app. I won't say the widget apps of choice, but this is pretty much the easiest widget app as it stands right now to use with Ecamm. You can also create your own custom web-based widgets. I won't get into that today because that's coding versus using something ready-made. But let's go into, I'm going to go into the alert box widgets, right? And it's fairly, I did a full tutorial just on widgets, but a couple, now before the new beta version of Ecamm, some of the widgets were kind of iffy and didn't really work well and stuff like that. But what I can do, let me see if I can test the widget and you guys actually see it show up. Let's see. I have them turned on. Let's see if I test the widget. Okay. So you guys do see it on my screen. All right. So I'm testing that widget now that I uploaded from Streamlabs, right? So this is the one that I set up for my YouTube. You can set up a donation one, a subscriber, different things like that. It's fairly easy and it's all straightforward. You have to sign up with the different accounts. One thing you have to remember is that whatever widget you want to play on whatever account, that's the account you have to sign in with. Because if you look up here on mine, I have my YouTube and I have a Facebook account. So whichever one you're logged in with, that's what the widget is going to affect, right? And because I'm logged in right now with YouTube, whatever I do to my widget that I've already pre-saved into my account will only affect things on YouTube. So if I go, let's go here. I'm trying to do stuff without showing you guys my native code that shows up whenever I change something, because they don't want you to show that. Okay, so here's a donation widget. So as each widget, as you go through and when you customize them, you can pick a graphic. This is an animated GIF that I actually made in Keynote, right? They have a default sound. I don't usually do their sounds. You can have the sound volume, things like that. But then when you're done, it's going to give you a piece of code. Now to add that to your Ecamm, you're going to go back into Ecamm, and in your overlays palette, there's a globe shape, right? And that globe shape, let me show you that. Options, live demo mode. Okay, so the globe shape, as you see right here, that is a web widget, right? So whenever you do that, you paste the code into this that Streamlabs gives you. And when you do that, the widget can then be used, right? And you can edit the size of the widget. This would be where my YouTube widget would pop up at. I have a Facebook widget when certain things happens on Facebook. And the easiest widgets to honestly use are those that are in the alert box. And it might be good to do another full tutorial just on widgets, because it kind of needs its own time versus, hey, here's how you do one quickly. You can do one quickly just from its default settings, but it's kind of more of a deep dive that's needed than just, hey, let's just do this. So yeah, so if you're on my channel and you do things that I have predetermined, so my YouTube channel, one thing that I predetermined on YouTube was for new subscribers. On Facebook, what I have predetermined is someone liking the video while I'm live on Facebook. So I get those widget animations when those things happen. Yeah, but go to Streamlabs, make a free account. I would say go to the alert box section and just play with it. But then when you get done, there's a little box that says click here to show widget URL, and it's going to give you that piece of code. And I'll jump back into it real quick here. once you click this box, it's going to show you a piece of code. Paste that code into the web widget box in Ecamm, and then you have a working widget. But remember, if you're going to do Facebook and YouTube and all that, you're going to have multiple widgets on your screen for all those different things to work, because only some of them will work based on where you are, right? But they have tip widgets, things like that. So all those different things are available. You can change your own custom graphics. And so maybe I need to do like a workshop day specific just to widgets, because now that the new WebM format, and they play better with Ecamm now because of WebM and because of some little tweaks that Ecamm made internally, I think it's worth a venture to kind of jump back in that and dive a little bit deeper into widgets. Cool, Owen. Yeah, man. Apple Motion is cool too. I've dabbled with it. I can't say I'm very proficient with it because I just don't use it much. But that's another good app. Oh yeah, the Adobe products, man, are just, to me, are top notch. But then there's definitely other products that people can use to make graphics, obviously, because I show you guys how, right, with Keynote and Canva and other stuff on the way. Cool. A full widget workshop, maybe next week, and if not next week, the following week, maybe we can just do straight widgets. I already did a tutorial on widgets, but at the time, a lot of the widgets were not working. Well, I'm saying we're not working properly with Ecamm, so it's not a real full tutorial. So yeah, maybe doing a workshop dedicated to widgets, kind of as a how-to, as one of these workshop days. That's I can do that, not a problem at all. And if you all think you might want a themed workshop setting kind of thing like this, just let me know. Say, hey, let's do one on widgets. Hey, let's do one on this. Let's do one on that. Let's do one just on lower thirds, right? Now, I am actually doing straight up workshops, right? These are like 2-hour intensive paid workshops, but I have no problem at all jumping in here doing that style of workshop in this group. So I think it'll be fun. Yeah, I actually have uploaded my first Canva tutorial. Nobody had any Canva questions today, so I didn't really do anything in Canva. But I will be doing more Canva tutorials, but just because people are using Canva now. My next Canva tutorial is probably going to be overlays, followed by square videos for social, then lower thirds, and some animated stuff. So yeah, so I have some Canva tutorials actually rolling out right now. I did my first one last week. Yeah, you did miss everything. I'm about 5 minutes away from shutting down today, but it's all good. The lives are recorded, and it looks like, as more people kind of come, we want to start maybe doing some themed workshops, which I'm more than happy to do. And so widgets have been brought up, and doing some more Canva things. So if you let me know what you're trying to do in Canva, I can, show you what you're trying to do, if Canva can do that or not, or whatever else. Or if I found out if Canva can do that or not. And just like Keynote, right? So it's like, hey, I'm trying to do a lower third. Hey, I'm trying to do an animated overlay. So those kind of things, right? All right, y'all. Cool. Oh, someone did ask about this. Let me give you this real quick. Let me see. For those that are, I'm not sure why you would be watching these workshops if you're not an Ecamm, but some people actually jump into these workshops that are not Ecamm users, or may not be Ecamm Pro users or whatever yet. Please use this link, bradleyteaches.com/Ecamm, and you can sign up and upgrade your account to Pro and different things like that to get some of these extra features and be able to do more things in Ecamm. So if you are on the fence about Ecamm, you can sign up for a trial. if you're already kind of using Ecamm, trying to think about going to the next level, use that link, please, and you should be good to go. If you want to just go just to my website, that's bradleyteaches.com. You can go there just to see different things. It has links to the YouTube channel, which some of you may be on right now watching. Has links to some freebies you can download from my Gumroad store, that kind of stuff, which you also see in the little banner that comes across, right? Like I said, I don't do, these are not for advertising. These are because people ask for them. I just kind of put them out there. So if you want to upgrade your Ecamm, you want to go look at some other stuff, those are 2 links for that. So widgets and Canva stuff. Okay. So if there's something specific that you really want to see, like I always tell you, you can do it by jumping into the live and asking your questions live during the live. That is always an option. The better route, or the best route, better, maybe not best, a better route is to use that online form that's always in the description of all the videos. And you can jump in there and ask your questions, several questions even, throughout the week between the workshops. Then they'll be the first ones in the queue when I go live. I go live, your questions are the first ones in the queue because you went through the form. So do not ignore that form. It always gets your questions answered. Because, you know, if I have 30 questions in the form, those will be answered first. And then whatever time I have left will be answered live. So always use that form whenever possible. If you want me to review your graphics or review your video, the form is a perfect place to do that. Go fill in the form. It's a simple form. It's not that bad. Simple form, do a screen capture, upload your screen capture. You have a video, put in a link to your video. Put those things in a form. I see them throughout the week. Sometimes I'll do a little pre-work. Most of the time I don't, because I just like to work right there in the moment and kind of see what we can kind of come up with. But put your questions in. I always jump in maybe an hour or 2 before I go live to get them all out of there and to get them ready to post up on the screen. And I will go through your questions, right? Now, some questions, if it is too difficult or doesn't fit with Keynote or whatever else, I'll mention that even in the thing, right? I'll say, hey, Keynote doesn't do that. So, you know, every question will be answered in some way, shape, or form. So, but if you want to be first in the queue, jump into the form, use the form. All right, y'all, we are 2 minutes away. I'm not sure if we have any last minute questions, but I'm feeling adventurous. If anybody has a last minute question or something they're working on that I can help out with, I will do my best to help you with that before I leave. My pleasure, Janelle. Hopefully today was helpful for you. Hopefully you got some questions answered, some things that can help you out in your creating. That's what I'm here for. All right, so it looks like people are interested in some widget stuff. So we'll do some widget stuff next week for sure. And if you have any questions specific to a widget or doing something with a widget, now the widget segment or the widget theme period, whatever we want to call it, during next week's workshop, it's going to be focused on Streamlab widgets, not coding any widgets, right? So we're going to use that kind of as an quick, easy way to put widgets into your video and test them out and work them that way. So that's how we're going to do it. Ecamm's new ability to do WebM files are going to be pretty cool. And there's some cool things you can do with that. And some other, web widgets that you might be able to add in, so all these things are options. All right, y'all. Oh, it's officially 3 o'clock and there's no more questions. So with that, I am going to get out of here. I know there's a little bit of a delay, so I'm going to give one more last call. One last call question before I shut down. And if not, I will let you guys go until next week. So, all right, y'all. That was the last call. So that is it. Okay. Until next time, I am Bradley Vinson of Bradley Teaches, Alana's Pawpaw. Be best, be free. Be best, be free. Be blessed, be free. See y'all next time, y'all. Be good to yourselves, be good to one another, and keep on creating. I'll see y'all next week, 2 p.m. Central, right here in my channel on YouTube and the Ecamm channel. So bring your questions, use the form. Talk to y'all later. Bye-bye.